You thinking about getting an embroidery machine? Here's a few things to think about before you invest in this journey.
Fat Man Scoop, Brooklyn Clan. What's up, y'all? This is Fat Man Scoop. And right now, you watching the sensei, the #1, the king, my dude, Big Brando. He taught me, personally, me, Fat Man Scoop. All you gotta do is keep your mouth closed and your ears open. Listen to the man talk. That's knowledge personified right there, and I wouldn't trust nobody else but my dude, Big Brando. And I said it. Fat Man Scoop, Big Brando, let's go!
What's happening, everybody? Boy Big Brando, and today we're talking about embroidery machines. I want to go over a few things to think about before investing into any machine. Now, anytime I make an embroidery video or I show my embroidery machine, the first thing people ask is, hey, how much does that cost? This is a very valid question, but what you have to remember is this number scares a lot of people away. And I know that because I am those people. Anytime I seen the price tag on an embroidery machine, I was like, man, I can't afford that. Nah, I ain't got that kind of money. Nah, I'll just outsource my embroidery. And this was mistake #1 for myself, was being scared of the price tag. So before asking the price, ask yourself, how much embroidery work are you outsourcing currently? If you're not doing any embroidery whatsoever, you're not going to a local shop, you're not outsourcing it online somewhere, if you don't have any embroidery work coming in currently, you need to reevaluate why you want an embroidery machine. Because remember, you have to know where the money's coming in to pay the machine off. If you currently have no money coming in around embroidery, you need a plan on how you're gonna use this machine to make some money. You get what I'm saying? Now let's say that you're already outsourcing a lot of work. You're going to a local shop, you're doing X amount of jobs already, and you're just kind of middlemaning everything. Whether you're doing it for your own brand or you outsource other people's jobs to get it done. These are the numbers right here that you want to break down. How much embroidery work are you taking in? How much are you turning away? How much does the embroidery shop charge you currently? What's the cost of the blank garments, blank hats, blank beanies, blank jackets, blank t-shirts, whatever you're stitching on? And then figure out if there's a constant need for this service. If you have one client that's coming to you all the time saying, hey, I need 36 hats, this color thread, this blank hat, and let's say they're coming to you every 3 weeks, you know there's steady money coming in. And let's say that same client refers you to somebody else, says, hey man, I get all my embroidery done through this person. Even though you're not physically doing the stitching now, but outsourcing it and just like I said, middlemaning the whole thing, the money is there. The proof is there. There's a need for that service. Now let's say that you're getting your own hats done for your own brand and you're going out to the shop and you're going to somebody saying, hey, these are the hats I want to stitch on in these colors. I need 36, 48 hats, whatever their minimum is. Think about how much of that work that you're sending out. Think about how many hats you're selling for retail. Use these numbers as real life numbers to justify investing in your own embroidery machine. For everybody watching, this is step #1 for you when thinking about getting into an embroidery machine. It is a big investment, but I'm living proof that this thing pays itself off quick as long as you have the work coming in already. Let me repeat that. As long as you have the work coming in already, the machine will pay itself off quick. But if you have no embroidery work coming in now, what I highly suggest before investing in your own machine, outsource a few jobs. Get your feet wet that way. Understand the embroidery process. Understand how you're gonna offer this to your clients. Understand how you're gonna price your own embroidery jobs out or price for retail. You can do all this before you even invest in the machine. Now, once again, there's a lot of videos on YouTube talking about embroidery machines, different companies, different brands, different models, different functions. You can see how to run the machine, how to hoop hats, how to hoop shirts, all these fancy little gadgets to make the job easier. What a lot of people don't talk about is actually making money with it. So before you get invested into a machine, understand where the money's gonna come in. Understand how you're gonna pay that machine off. Understand how is this machine or this piece of equipment gonna make your business more profitable. That's the name of the game. So if you're thinking about getting into a machine, be realistic in how you're gonna make money. Everybody has the big dreams of, oh, if I had an embroidery machine, I'd be doing this, I'd be doing that, I'd be selling it to this person, I'd be able to do this. Focus on one thing first. Figure out how to get the money. And I'll be 100% honest with you. When I first got my machine, I planned on just stitching for myself. I got a single head machine because I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna be able to stitch my own hats, change up the colors as I want, test out all the new designs that I want to, and have the flexibility and freedom to do it in-house. I've had my machine for a year. I do way more stitching for other people than I do for myself because I understand that's where the money's at. That's where the money's coming in for myself. Understanding that sweet spot of having a very low minimum compared to the bigger shops in my area plays a big role in how much money I'm bringing in through my embroidery machine and how much work I have in that I'm turning away work at this point. Like I said, that machine runs 7 days a week because of how much work is coming in. So remember, when you're looking for an embroidery shop or when you're looking to outsource embroidery, I always recommend going local. Jump on Yelp, type in embroidery shop, look at reviews, look at pictures of their work, start hitting up these shops for quotes. Now you could compare pricing, you could compare quality, you could compare proximity to how close they are to you. And the reason I say go with somebody close to you is to check the proof sample. Before anybody runs any embroidery job, what they do is they run a sample first. That proof sample is gonna dictate how the rest of your job looks. So you're gonna run one hat. That hat is gonna show what the stitching looks like. If it's 3D, it's gonna show how it covers the foam. It's gonna show placement. It's gonna show sizing. This is what the customer has to look at and buy off and say, all right, you know what? This looks good, let's run it. Now you run 24, 36, 48, however many they ordered, but everything is gonna be based off of that one sample. Now I say go to a local shop because it's very easy to manipulate a photograph and bump the contrast up to make the white stitching look way more white than it really is. It'll cover up any imperfections. And if you just go based off of the picture and you say, yeah, that looks good. They run all 48 of your hats and then they come back and you're like, hey, how come I could see the foam? And they're like, hey, well, you bought it off, man. You said the sample looked good. We ran it as is. That's where you have to actually see the hat and be like, hey, you know what? I don't like the sizing of this. I don't like that the thread's not covering this section. Can we go back over that? This is where you make all the changes that need to be done on that sample before they run your whole job. So seeing the proof sample in person is way different than seeing it in a picture or a video. Because like I said, it's very easy to manipulate the picture, and I've seen a lot of people do this. Well, they'll bump the contrast up and now the stitching looks full, everything looks good. But then when they get their job in, they're like, wait a minute, man. And a lot of times these shops will try to use the least amount of thread to get the job done. One, it's a lot faster that way. Two, they're wasting a lot less thread. So before you think about buying a machine, outsource a lot of your embroidery work. See if it's gonna be something that's profitable for you. See if there's money to be made there. Before even thinking about investing in your own machine. And you're like, oh man, I wanna cut the middleman out. I'd rather do it myself. If you don't have the work coming in already, or if you don't already have clientele for embroidery work, it's gonna be a hard sell because panic sets in when that bill's due and you haven't made any money that month. Why would you put yourself in that bind? So before even jumping in and investing in a machine, outsource it, middleman it for now, just to make sure that you have the clientele to bring you embroidery work so you can start knocking these jobs out on your own. But test the waters by outsourcing first. This is just a recommendation for myself because one, I'm not trying to put nobody in debt, and two, I want to make sure everybody understands proof of concept. That's something that I live by, and that's proven to yourself. Whatever idea you have is gonna be profitable. You got to make sure the concept and the idea is a money-making idea. Not just a thought, not just a dream, but actual reality. Prove to yourself that you can make money on this idea. Proof of concept. All right, so after you got all that done, you outsourced, you got clientele, you have an idea on how you're gonna make money with your embroidery machine. Now you're looking for an actual machine to buy into. And there's a million YouTube videos out there talking about a million different embroidery machines. Why this one's the best? Why is this the best option? Why this one does the best things? This one has better functions. This one does something that this one doesn't do. Very overwhelming process, and I understand that. But you as the business owner have to do the research on what's gonna fit you and your needs the best. The one recommendation I do have for everybody is buy into a company that backs their machine. I can't stress that enough. A lot of people buy based on price. They're like, oh man, you know what? I don't want to buy that machine because it costs this much. This machine that's basically the same functions is like 6 to 10 grand cheaper. I'm gonna go this route. The crazy part about doing that is the company that has that cheaper machine most of the time has the worst customer service with that machine. Now, if you're just getting into embroidery, obviously you're gonna have to rely on customer service, training you up on the machine, troubleshooting any issues you run into, basic knowledge and know-how. If that company that you bought your machine from that was dumb cheap doesn't back that machine or has really crappy customer service, now you have a hard time trying to troubleshoot issues and you can't get nobody on the phone. That's wasted money. You know what I mean? So I recommend going with a company that has really good customer service, that backs their machine, that puts you through a thorough training of the machine, but also has a million videos on YouTube troubleshooting all these errors that might pop up, checking the tension, threading needles, dealing with needle breaks, dealing with bird nesting, how to replace the bobbin, how to hoop hats, how to hoop shirts, basic maintenance. The reason I say that is because when you run into a jam, we all do this and we run to YouTube and try to see if somebody ran into the same issue and how to fix that issue. When that happens for me, I want to type in the exact machine I have, the exact issue I'm having, and I want to see videos pop up to help me fix the error, fix the issue, troubleshoot what's wrong with the job, because I need to be back up and running and I need that machine running so I can make some money. Now, this is the biggest reason why I went with Ricoma for my own embroidery machine. If you just YouTube search Ricoma embroidery machines, there's a bunch of videos that pop up under the Ricoma name, like from their own personal business page. And there's other content creators that already have these machines, EM1010s, MT1501s, whatever machine you're looking at getting into, there's content creators already creating content around it, troubleshooting issues, showing you the basics. And then for the real detailed information, Ricoma has their own channel with videos to help you get by. But the best part is their customer service is A1 when it comes to backing their machines. You could jump on a call with them, you could jump on a FaceTime, Skype session, Zoom session with them. They make it very, very easy to get you up and running. That's the biggest selling point. I can't stress that enough, is that their customer service is there to service the customers. Anybody that owns one of their machines, they are there to help you get going. Because if your machine's not running, you're not making any money. So what they want you to do is get your machine up and running as soon as possible to get back to the money. That was the selling point for myself. Every other embroidery company that I talked to was more interested in selling me one of their machines, but what Ricoma did was they sold me on their customer service. It wasn't about buying the biggest, baddest machine. It was about, let's find a machine that fits your needs, and let's talk about how we can teach you how to use this machine and get the most out of it. That to me makes all the difference. Is one, being able to jump on YouTube and troubleshoot any issues, and two, being able to reach out to them, email, call, whatever it is, to fix any issues that I run into. They made it very easy for me and my guys here at this shop to learn the machine. Within like an hour or something of us going through how to use the machine, we were up and running stitching hats. And they made sure that we were able to stitch the hats before we even got off the call. So like I said, even if you didn't want to use any of the equipment or machines that I use, understand where the money's going to come in from before you invest in this machine. And then buy a machine from a company that backs the machine. Don't just go based on price. Don't just go based on availability. Go with the company that's going to back their machine to help you through the process. You don't want to buy a machine from a company that has nobody on the back end to answer any questions for you. You want to get a machine from somebody that's willing to help you with the smallest of issues. Let's say you don't even know how to replace a needle. They'll jump on a call with you and be like, check it out. Here's a video on how to do it, but I'll walk you through it. This is what you got to do. This is the size Allen wrench you need. All right, let's make sure that you got the right needles. This is how the needle needs to face. This is how you put it in. And since that needle broke, let's talk about rethreading that needle. This is what their customer service does. There's no dumb questions when it comes to it. So that's why I say, make sure you buy a machine from a company that backs their machine, all right? I hope this video helps people out in their embroidery journey. I hope this video sheds a little bit of light on some things to think about before investing into any machine. Doesn't even matter what brand it is or where it comes from. It's a big investment. There's a lot of money to be made once you actually have that machine, but make smart business decisions. Don't just jump into something that you're unsure of. Make sure you know you're gonna be able to make some money before jumping in head first, all right? If you got any questions, make sure you leave it in the comments. If you wanted to do more research on the Ricoma machines that they have to offer, the MT1501 like I have, the EM1010, which is another single head machine, the link is in the description box. That link doesn't mean you're buying anything. That link is there for you to do more research for yourself. Do not be scared to hit up Ricoma and ask all the questions you have for them. They will never sell you a machine that you don't need. Tell them what you exactly want to do with that machine, and they'll show you the options on what might work for you, all right? Like I said, do your research. Read up on these machines, watch some videos about it, and when you're ready, hit them up, all right? Catch you guys on the next one, man. Yeah.